Hello everybody, so I am on my own today. It feels really weird not having Rhiannon next to me here and doing it on a Monday night as well. This feels really weird. So welcome to those of you that are watching. This is a bit of like a last minute Facebook Live. I didn't know whether to do one or not, but yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to kind of summarise my thoughts after I felt so inspired after I went on this course this weekend. I had such a good couple of days of learning and expanding my knowledge, and I felt really motivated to do a Facebook Live and chat about my experiences as a PT, what qualifications I have and how I went about getting them, how to be I guess the best coach that you can be as well, and something that I'm really kind of actively kind of focusing on at the moment, and most importantly just I guess filling you guys in on a bit about what I do and behind the scenes, because I've been really bad on like Snapchat and stuff recently and showing you guys what my day-to-day is. So yeah, I'm going to have a bit of a chit chat. I made some notes earlier, so I just finished work, and yeah, I have made some notes, and I will be touching on all of these things now. So the first question is what do you what course did I do to become a personal trainer? That's something I get asked all the time, and I think there is so many courses out there now to do, and people are often really confused about which one's good, which one's bad. I think, you know, as with anything, there's good and bad, I'm sure, in all of these courses, but for me, I would definitely look at going for one where you get face-to-face contact. So I think doing an online course is not necessarily going to be the best option. I would say that you want to have face-to-face learning and face-to-face contact with your tutor in order to get the most out of your course, and I wouldn't necessarily trust ones that are just online. I trained with the London Muscle Academy, so that's James, Max, Tom and Lloyd, who run London Muscle. They've set up an academy which is run by a guy called Josh Silverman, and he is a massively influential person on me in terms of his knowledge. He's incredible. Like, Josh is amazing, and a really good tutor, and I'm not just saying that even though I sound massively biased. He is honestly one of the best people that's ever taught me. Josh lectures in universities, like his qualifications are astounding. He's also been a practicing PT for loads and loads of different types of clients and different areas, and yeah, he's amazing. So he was my tutor, and I went and did like weekends, because while I was training to be a PT, I was also on tour with a musical. So it meant that I came back on my Sunday, which was my only day off, and did my PT course on the Sundays, and then kind of did one-to-one tutor sessions with Josh when I could, because I couldn't fit in the Saturday sessions. So yeah, it was really beneficial. I think good things about the PT course with Josh, there was a lot of practical application of the learning tools. So everything that we learned, one, it was all kind of broken down into a really good kind of booklet thing, which into a folder which you could have all of the information in, and two, everything we learned was then applied practically within a gym environment. And I think that's really important with any course that you're doing. You know, practical application of the skills. Can you coach someone through the basic compound lifts? Are you able to show someone safely and effectively how to complete an exercise? That's really important, and being shown how to do that. And just generally, you know, kind of, I think it's really just general gym awareness, making sure that people are doing exercises safely and effectively, making sure that you just kind of, even if it's for your level 2, making sure you know how to use various pieces of equipment and how to, you know, do things safely. I think that's really important, and that you only get that from really getting into the gym environment and being scrutinised by practically coaching others, and then being given feedback according to that. So I think you know, I really appreciated and valued that side of our course, and felt like I learned a lot from being able to be in a gym environment and apply the skills that I was learning in the classroom within that space. So I think that was really good. you know, I am obviously going to sit here and say I'm biased. I've not done any other PT courses, so, you know, I'm sure there are others out there that are good. I know lots of other people that have trained under lots of different PT courses, and they found them to be really good. So I'm sure there is a lot out there, and it's just, for me, I think, you know, it comes down to yes, there are obviously going to be different levels of courses. Of course there are, and I would say that the one that I did was great, but also I think it comes down to you get out what you put in. Sorry, I can't talk today. It's been a long day. You get out what you put in. So if you're going to put in the hard work, if you're going to make sure that you read all of the information, if you're going to make sure that you study and actually complete all of the kind of the work that is behind the kind of the theory and stuff that goes behind becoming a personal trainer, then that's going to equip you with the best knowledge to be able to then move forward. If you're not going to put in the hours and put in the reading and put in the hard work, then, you know, you could be doing the best course in the world but not get the same results or not get the most out of it. So I think it does come down to that as well. And I think on top of that, a course can only teach you so much. I always compare PT courses like a driving test. You know, when you're taking a driving test, you've always got someone in the car with you. So you're never actually in that real life scenario of being on your own and having to fend for yourself in the car until you've passed your test and until you're on the road. And really, the only time when you properly learn to drive is when you have passed your driving test and then you're on the road by yourself and you have to fully, you know, make this decision for yourself. There's no one sitting next to you with that kind of foot on their brake just in case the worst came to the worst and they had to put their foot on the brake. So I think, you know, you can learn as much as you want to on a PT course. Where you actually then properly become a trainer is when you apply that knowledge to your actual clients on the gym floor on a daily basis as a practicing personal trainer. And that's where mistakes are made, of course. Like when I first had my first kind of couple of clients, I was like, where do I start? I wasn't sure what to do. And that's when you really learn, you know, how to be a good coach. And so whilst I can sit here and say, you know, this course is great, that course is great, blah, 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 it's actually after that, when you've got the certificate, when you pass your driving test, for example, with using my analogy, that you then are left to fend for yourself and you properly learn how to apply those skills in your own way. And I think that's really important as well. You know, we're not supposed to be cookie cutter personal trainers. Everyone practices in different ways and there's different ways of doing things, and one might not necessarily be better than the other. It's just that we're all different and we all practice in different ways. So I think, going back to the point, there are a million courses that you could do. All of them, I'm sure, have their good points. It's how you apply that knowledge and that foundation and grow from that post-exam or post-passing, you know, getting a level 3 or whatever. That's what makes you a good trainer and a good coach, in my opinion. And I think it's really important to remember that. So moving on. So that was the course that I did. I would say that in terms of, a lot of people say, what do I recommend? Of course, I'm going to sit here and say I would recommend the course I did because it's the only one that I know. But yeah, I would recommend it. I think it's a great course, and I'm not sitting here because they've told me to say this. I'm saying it because I genuinely believe that it is a really, really good course. And yeah, that is answering that question for those of you that asked. Moving on from that. So something I really want to talk about is then obviously practical experience following becoming a personal trainer. So the thing that I see a lot of recently is a lot of people, you know, getting a personal training qualification as like a tick box, as though they feel like they need to do it because they want to, you know, it's almost become like trendy to become a personal trainer. And I think that's kind of annoying. I think, you know, I never actually intended to be a personal trainer. I was in musicals. I had this dream of being on the stage, and it just so happened that I went through this amazing journey of everything that I did, and I just started to develop a love for training, a love for helping others. I think, you know, through my Instagram, I kind of develop this empathy for others that were in the same position that I had been in when I first started my journey, and I wanted to work with people that I could relate to because I had been there and I knew what it felt like. And so I decided to take my my PT exam because I wanted to try working in an environment in which I felt like I could work one-to-one with someone that might be in a position that I was in myself, and where I felt like I would be able to help them using exercise as it's something that I found really helped me. So that's why I started. And you know, when I first started taking my few clients, it was because I'd finished on the show, I published my first book, and I wanted to, you know, see what it was like, see how I felt training clients. I might have hated it. Thank God I didn't. And I fell in love with that one-to-one relationship of working with someone and coaching them through a journey, because I understand everyone that comes to see me as being on a journey. We're all on a journey. And I think, you know, for me, every person that comes to me, there's something that I can pinpoint that we can work on, and there's something that I know that I can bring to them that can help them, and I'm inspired by every person that comes to see me for various reasons, and there's always something that ignites in me a little bit of motivation to think, oh, okay, they mentioned that, and I think I'm going to try that with them, or you know, they've said that they want to achieve that, so I'm going to try that. And my brain is constantly ticking. As soon as I meet people, I'm like, oh my God, like you know, I try and ask them lots of questions in the first session and try and get a real 360 picture of who that person is. Have they got kids? What do they do for fun? What's their social life like? Have they got a boyfriend? Have they got a husband? You know, trying to find out all this information, because that helps me to build a picture of a person and try and understand how best to work with them. And you know, like I can talk for England, as you probably can tell. I can sit in my own bedroom and chat to a camera, and there's loads of you guys there, and I can just talk because it's what I enjoy doing, and I can. But you know, I think being a good conversationalist, being able to have a rapport with your clients, have a relationship with that person. When every client comes into the gym with me, you can't be like on your phone and just be a bit half-assed and be like, oh, you know, hi, whatever. When that person comes in, they have paid for my hour of my time, and I will give them 100% of my energy and 100% of my time, no matter what I'm feeling. I think something that being in shows and being in musical theatre has taught me is, even when I am stressed and I am having a bit of a bad day, I'm very, very good at just switching it on, being in the zone, focusing, and, you know, giving that person 100% of my energy, because that's what they deserve. They've paid for my time, and I will give them that. And I think you need to be that kind of person. That personal training requires long hours. Like you'll get up at 5 in the morning, you'll be training clients 5 a.m. and you basically work when everyone else doesn't work. So the early morning shifts and the late shifts. So today today I had a slightly different day because I had meetings, but tomorrow I'll be up at 5, clients 6, 7, 8, 9, break 11, then I will have meetings in the day. And actually, I lie, because it's Valentine's Day tomorrow, I'm actually going out for dinner. But I would be then doing evening clients in the evening if it wasn't Valentine's Day. So yeah, it's long hours, and you have to have the same energy and the same amount of passion and the same amount of you know, just buzz about you with your 6 a.m. client as you do the one that's at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. Because for me, that's what makes a good trainer. You have to be there and present. And you know, the other thing I say is the gym isn't a safe environment. People are, especially the way I train people, they're lifting weights, they're doing things that could potentially be dangerous if it wasn't monitored in a controlled environment and done in a safe way. And therefore I have to give them my 100% of my attention. And so, you know, that comes from enjoying what I do and loving my job. And yeah, I've massively sidetracked now. I think I've just been chatting. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is, okay, I need to go back. I'm going back. So I started by saying, oh my God, I talk so much. I started by saying this personal training thing has been a tick box for a lot of people. You see that they say they're a personal trainer, but do they actually train clients? This is my thing. Do they work with people? Are they getting hands-on experience and growing and expanding their knowledge as a coach working with people, because that is what makes a good trainer. Constantly having people come in of different sizes, abilities, bodies, levels of fitness, different goals, and being challenged by each individual that comes in, and expanding your skill set depending on who you've got in front of you. That for me is what makes a good coach. Not, you know, because you can post a good video on Instagram and zoom in your butt or whatever. No mentions named. No names mentioned even. Can't talk tonight. But you know, that for me is something that's really important. Practical experience. I had this conversation with Rhiannon the other day that, you know, she still is working one-to-one with clients, going away, reading research, applying that to her clients. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and then you go back to the drawing board and you read more stuff and you research and then you apply stuff. And that for me is how, and for me and Rhi, is how we have grown and expanded our knowledge and expanded our skill set. And you know, that there's no such thing as just passing an exam and then suddenly you're an expert. Getting your personal training qualification and suddenly you're a PT, and you don't need to ever, you know, develop your skills or do anything else because you've got the certificate, therefore you are a qualified PT. Yeah, I think it's really, really important to understand that just getting the certificate is absolutely nothing. As with your driving test, going back to that analogy, when you pass your exam, that's just the start. You are just at the beginning, and how you develop and how you grow from that and how you expand your skills and work and get practical experience and constantly continue to build upon that is then what makes you a good coach. So yeah, that is my rant, and not rant, just chat. Finally, I wanted to tell you guys about the course I did this weekend, which I was feeling so inspired and motivated by. And the course I did was with the UK Strength and Conditioning Association, so it's the UKSCA, and they run workshops on various different things, and they run all year round actually. And you can find out information for them on their website, which is just, I think just Google UKSCA and I think it'll come up. And so, yeah, I did their foundations course. So it was just the first course, and it's called it's just called the Foundation of Weightlifting, I think. I think it's called the Foundation of Weightlifting. I've got my certificate back there. But yeah, and it was an excellent course. It was 2 days. It was Saturday and Sunday. And we basically went back to basics with everything. We were coached through how to coach a basic squat, how to coach deadlift first pulls. So we didn't actually do deadlifts, we just did first pulls from the floor. We looked at push press, an overhead press, a basic overhead press. Basically the kind of pillars of strength training. So your squat, your deadlift or first pull, an overhead press. We then looked at speed and agility. We looked at ramp, so different a warm-up style, and learned about different warm-up styles and physical preparation for exercise. And then we looked at some different energy systems and different training that covered different energy systems. So it was absolutely brilliant and really, really good for me to go back and be in a classroom environment and learn, or gym environment, and learn a bit more and expand kind of not expand, because it was, a lot of it was kind of, I guess, touching on stuff you probably already knew, but really reaffirming what was right and what was wrong, from people that are super knowledgeable. So one of the guys that coached was a guy called Gil Stevenson, who's a really, really reputable name within the strength and conditioning realm, and he'd flown down from Scotland, and yeah, he was amazing, and he really inspired me, and I thought he was wicked. So yeah, it was an excellent 2 days, and subsequent to that, I have then booked 2 more courses with the UKSCA. So I've booked their effective planning and programming course, which I'm going to be doing in May, and I also booked the weightlifting, so how to coach basically Olympic lifting, So I'm going to be doing that as well. So yeah, I'm really, really excited, and I thought I'd just tell you a bit about what the course was and what it entailed, because I found it really good. You also get a lot of, when you do the course, you get a certificate, and you also get a folder full of information that covers everything that you basically touched on during the day, during the weekend, sorry. And in that, there's a lot of like really, really good research articles, so stuff that's kind of written by people with PhDs and masters, and people that have researched into things like there's a whole article on the squat, and a whole article on the pull-up and different variations, and it's really interesting. So I would definitely recommend it, and I would head over to their website to have a look at the course and see for yourself if it's something that you want to do. Anyway, I feel like I've just been chatting away, and I'm probably, what is the time? Oh my god, I've talked for 20 minutes. Time flies. Anyway, I hope I've covered some of your questions, and if there are any others, please do comment them below, and I'll be doing a Facebook Live this weekend coming up with Rhiannon as per usual. So I don't think we've decided on our topic yet, so yeah, if you have any suggestions of something you'd like to see me and Rhi talk about, then please do comment your suggestions below. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed it, or you found it useful. I feel like I've just been rambling a little bit, but anyway, yeah, I hope you found it useful. And yeah, I hope to see you all very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you soon.